Welcome everybody to the Angry Birds Fans Hangout podcast. I'm your host Hydro, and today we'll be doing a reaction to the uh, Eagles versus Giants highlights of the game where the Eagles beat the New York Giants by a score of 48-22, and they go to 12-1 with the best record in the NFL, and they also clinched the first playoff spot in the NFL. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're not watching the video version of it, you can go to our YouTube channel at Angry Birds Fans Hangout and watch the video of the highlights of the game that I'm going to be reacting to and giving my input on what happened during the game. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed to the podcast, you can listen to the podcast either on Anchor, because we are sponsored by Anchor, and you can sign up free and listen to the podcast there. You can also send us messages, video messages, voice messages, and we'll get back to you. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. So we also have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. So if you want to come over there and follow us, we do post some content on there. I'm not going to lie, I don't post a lot. But if you want to come on there and send us a message through Instagram or through Facebook, you can do that also. I will respond to every message that any Philadelphia Eagles fans send me. So if you want to be part of the Angry Birds Fans Hangout community, and that's what this podcast is a community for us Eagles fans to get together and discuss our birds. You can also contact us on Twitter at UMCIE. I do tweet on there, and you can respond to any of my tweets, or you can even message me on there if you want to be a part of the podcast, or if you want to just get mentioned or have your input onto the podcast. You can hit me up there, and I'll definitely respond back to you. So the Eagles had a dominating win against the Giants, and I discussed that in my previous podcast. And like I said, if you want to listen to that podcast, go ahead and subscribe to us, or go over to your podcast platform and listen to that podcast and listen to what I had to say in reference to that game, where I just gave my recaps to what happened in that game, and how some of our players played. But before we begin, we have 3 players with 10 plus touchdowns, and we also have 2 players that hit the 1,000-yard mark. Miles Sanders is the first running back since LaShawn McCoy to reach 1,000 yards rushing in one season. So congratulations to Miles Sanders. Booby was doing his thing. And then Jalen Hurts rushed for a touchdown, so he has 10 plus touchdowns on the season. And A.J. Brown has 10 plus touchdowns on the season. And like I mentioned already, Miles Sanders with 1,000 plus yards, and A.J. Brown has over 1,000 plus yards in receiving. And this is the first time that's happened since 2014 for the Eagles. So right now we are moving in the right direction, and hopefully towards a Super Bowl matchup. So let's get into the highlights of this game. As you can see here, this is the Giants. Giants received the ball first, and this is their first drive. Daniel Jones completed a pass for a first down, and now here on the first down, Josh Sweat gets the first sack of the game on this first drive for the Giants. The defensive line was beasting this game. Here on this third down, Hassan Reddick with the second sack. 2 sacks on the first drive of the game. Now that's crazy. That is crazy. So the Eagles get the ball back. This is their first drive. Jalen Hurts on this drive completed 9 passes to 7 different receivers. He was spreading the ball around. As you see, even with the absence of Dallas Goedert on the offense, he is still utilizing our backup tight ends like Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stoll. They're both, they have been doing a great job of filling in for Dallas Goedert. Man, this pass right here to Devontae Smith was right on the money. To me, this is probably his second best pass of the game. Another first down. The Eagles were moving the ball methodically down the field against this Giants team. They had no answers for Jalen Hurts in this offense. And right here, A.J. Brown used that big body down here in the red zone, getting down to the 4-yard line. And then Miles Sanders, taking it in for his first rushing touchdown of the game. And this puts him over 10-plus rushing touchdowns this season. So the Giants come back, of course, trying to establish the run against the Eagles defense, who haven't struggled for the past 2 games on the rushing side, and they bring in Sue and Joseph to help shore up that run defense. But we didn't run a lot of 5-man fronts in this game, even having Jordan Davis back. So the Eagles get the ball back because the defense held the Giants. Now we get into the the second quarter, sorry about that. And look at Jalen Hurts. There's not, like, you try to keep him in the pocket, he'll kill you from the pocket. If you try to blitz him or trying to send in additional pressure on him, he's going to use his legs and scramble for a first down. So look at that. Jalen Hurts, who's that? Quez Watkins in there getting some action too. 4th and 7. Look at this pass. This is probably his best pass of the game right here. Man, they sent a blitz. If you go back and look at that, the Giants sent a blitz. They sent about 6 defenders, and Jalen Hurts just beat the blitz with that pass to Devontae Smith. Like, the Eagles' offense, man, was going crazy this game. Oh, look at that hit. We have the hardest hitting safeties. Well, with Marcus Epps and Reed Blankenship, we have the hardest hitting safeties, I think, in NFL right now. CJ being out, he's not a big hitter, but he can take the ball away. That's why he led the NFL, I believe, in interceptions. I don't know if he still is. Another touchdown pass to A.J. Brown this time. Everybody was feasting this game, spreading the love. Jalen Hurts spreading that love. I'm telling you, there's nothing the Giants could do to stop the offense. They had no answers. They finally got Saquon Barkley out on the flat, trying to spread the Eagles defense out, and they got first down on that play, which was a good call. And Giants, this is probably Saquon's best run of the game. I believe he only had like 26 yards or something like that. T.J. Edwards, one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now, playing very well. Almost got a pick right there on Daniel Jones. This right here, I would say, is probably the worst play call of the game for the Eagles. I don't know why we're back on our own 5-yard line. They decide to keep Jalen in the pocket, and this is what happens. The punt team has to kick from its own end zone and gets blocked. But Sipoff almost got the first down, man, but he stepped out at 15-yard line, and he got hurt during that play. So we had to bring in Brent Kern. He's an all-pro punter who hasn't been playing. He's been out of the league, but everybody wants to come play for the Eagles. Nice pass by Daniel Jones on that rolled out. They got him out in space, and he was able to hit the receiver in the flat and there in the end zone. And look at Boston Scott. We call him the Giant Killer, and this is why. Boston Scott is definitely a better kick returner than Brenton Covey on the kickoff. I think we need to keep using them for that. I think he returned that one for 65. Should have went to the house though, man. Bob Scott, the Giant Killer. He always has his best games against the Giants. Here we go. Miles Sanders run to the left. Miles Sanders has been running hard this year. Like, it's hard to tackle him on the first hit. He's breaking tackles. And here we go. Look at that. That blocking was tremendous. They're pulling the guards. Jason Kelsey out there hitting the linebackers. We had to settle. Jalen Hurts couldn't connect with Jack Stoll, I believe. And we had to settle for a field goal before the half. So we was trying to get another touchdown before the half. And so we start the third quarter. Boobie Miles on the go. Look at that. I don't think he would have broke that one. I can't say he was one tackle away, but that was a great run by him. And here we go. Design run. On this run, Miles Sanders, if you look at highlight video, he did a water boy that Adam Sandler does that little yell and stuff. He did that on that play. That's when you know you're having fun out there. This should have been a touchdown right here to Devontae Smith, but he stepped out of bounds. That was a great pass and almost a great catch if he would just kept that. I think it was his right foot. He couldn't keep his right foot in or something on that play. They didn't show the replay on that. Fletcher Cox, another veteran who's been stepping up this year. And at first half of the season, he wasn't doing too well, but now I think with our defensive line rotation, he's starting to play a lot better. He's like probably a little bit more fresh. Right here, the Giants drive here in the start of their first drive of the second half was probably the best drive of their game. They moved the ball way downfield. Daniel Jones did a good job of getting rid of that ball before Brandon Graham got to him. And Brandon Graham, you'll see. Brandon Graham, 13-year veteran. He had a season-ending ACL injury last year. He's coming back and he's playing better than ever. He had 3 sacks in this game. You'll see him. And right here, this is everybody knows the Eagles love to do a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1s or like fourth and short, 3rd and short. But that one they caught the Giants sleeping and did a little pitch out to Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. Of course, man, this guy he's playing amazing this year. Definitely number 1 in the MVP race right now, and he rushes it in for another score. And like I said, he's over 10 he has over 10 touchdowns this season. And Daniel Jones was getting the ball off. I give him credit for all the pressure that the Eagles were putting on him. He was still getting the ball out. So the Eagles I see they run. They almost got to him there. They ran a blitz. They brung Kaiser White with a linebacker blitz, which I think is probably the only real blitz that they did in this game. Jalen Hurts ran into that sack. That's probably his only other mistake in this game. He ran into that sack. He didn't make too many in this game. And Daniel Jones using his legs. That's one thing. We kept Daniel Jones contained in the pocket. I think he only had like that run and another run, and that's where he was kind of he's dangerous is in using his legs. But he was I'll tell you what, he was completing like that pass was a pretty good pass. And that one was not a good one. He should have got that one. That was a big miss. Ooh, that pressure, man. That pressure, that Eagles defense was applying pressure all day in this game, all day. Look at there's a AJ Brown again. That dude is dangerous across the middle. Dangerous across the middle. He's a big target. Like Miles Sanders again with a little pitch out. That blocking is incredible, man. That offensive line, we got the best offensive line in the NFL. These guys, you don't want to be in front of these guys on a run. And here go little Boston Scott giant killer taking it for a first down. And so at this point, I think the Giants defense was just morally defeated. Miles Sanders takes it to the house for another touchdown. He had 144 yards on the day rushing. The Eagles, as a total, had 240 yards. Brandon Graham, look at that, with the sack fumble or strip sack, and the Eagles get the ball back. Brandon Graham was feasting, man. That guy is amazing. Not only is he a good football player, he's a good guy off the field too. And here go Boston Scott, and almost took it in. Almost took it to the house right there. But he's gonna score on this drive, right on this run right here. Look at him go. Oh, Boston Scott, the giant killer, man. You gotta love that guy. Love him to death. But by this time, we were already for most of the fourth quarter playing our backups, and then, of course, they bring in Tyrod Taylor here. The Giants already admitted defeat at this point. They didn't want to risk injuries. So, well, like I said, the Eagles are showing at the right time at this point in the season that they are the team to beat, and they're playing great football. This is the time. This is where you should be playing your best football right now if you're a championship caliber team. You shouldn't really be struggling against teams that you should beat. Like right now is definitely the point where you got all your kinks out. And like I mentioned in my last podcast, go back and listen to my last podcast, and I'll tell you exactly where the tide changed. But they are definitely bringing it now. I don't think there's any team that could beat them at this point the way they're playing. If they keep playing like this, I don't think any team can beat them. So, but I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And like I said, go subscribe to my podcast. I do weekly episodes on I do recaps of the games that were played, and then I also do previews of upcoming games for the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, come join our community. Contact me if you want to come on to the podcast and talk football, or just message me if you want to ask a question or have me mention something on the podcast. I will do that. But again, thank you for joining me, and have a blessed day.